Hello viewers, Ian Bennett here, and welcome for another episode of In the Hot Seat. Today we'll be interviewing Mayor Leon Thomas. I'm quite sure you're going to enjoy this, so stay tuned and join us inside. We'll be speaking to the mayor. All right. Well, first question. Is there someone that you have loved in your life that to this day still, is forefront of your mind as far as so people know the type of person you are?
First of all, thank you for the opportunity to have this discussion with you. My mother is the love of my life. And though she passed away, she still remains my love of my life.
Well, if there's always a love you can actually count on, it would always be mom.
Yes, most definitely.
Um, have, in your earlier life, what I would like to find out is what was your first paid job? Probably before you came into politics, but what is your first paid job?
My first paid job was at the Monument Sugar Estate.
Okay.
After leaving high school, I actually do my community service at Monument Sugar Estate.
Okay.
And after that work experience from the school, then after graduation, I was employed in the machine shop department.
Okay. All right. So, but then after there, when was the first type of community service type of job? Because I think I was told once you were in the civil service at one time.
Now, after leaving the Monument Sugar Estate, I went to New York Sugar Estate. I spent time there.
Mm-hmm.
Then to the Jamaica, outside.
Okay.
Then to Kingston.
Mm-hmm.
So after coming to Kingston.
So you were a sugar man first?
Yes, because I'm from Clarendon.
Okay.
Main parish in Jamaica.
That's debatable. That's debatable. Anyway.
And in there, you have a lot of sugar cane, and those two industry was the main source of employment.
All right. Another, being somebody who I know the job calls for a lot of attention and so on, being mayor. How many hours of sleep do you get?
Let me tell you something. Sometimes I can't sleep. And sometimes I might get like 3 hours or less. And even now, I can tell you, when the clock struck like 2:30, my eyes are wide open. Don't shut again until about 5 o'clock. And by 6:30, I am up again. But because of the COVID, that's the reason why I actually wake so late. Because it was normal time. I have to get up from 5 o'clock because I have to get myself together to take my daughter to school in the morning because she goes to school in Kingston. So I have to leave at least 5 minutes to 6 every morning to take her to school, and I get to work at like 5 minutes to 7, 10 to 7 every morning at the municipality.
All right. What you said, this is personal on a level. Because we're still trying to get to know who Leon Thomas is here. In terms of songs, in your opinion, what are the 5 best songs of all time?
Well,
your opinion, says nobody has to qualify it.
I know that, but reggae music, I love Dennis Brown and Bob Marley.
Okay.
Right? And of course, I love like Skeeter Davis.
Okay.
And also Percy Sledge. Those people I really enjoy those type of music. Freddie McGregor is from also is in Clarendon.
All right.
And I enjoy Freddie's
Clarendon again.
Yes.
All right. Understood. If you weren't into politics as you are now, obviously,
Yes.
what would have been your profession today, 2021?
Well, you know, after moved to Kingston, I was going back to school,
Okay.
and my profession will be
So you're more technical and hands-on.
hands-on person, technically. You know, tools. You know, we're on Ashanai Road.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There was a time when a lot of production used to come out of Ashanai Road,
Yes.
but that has production has not really been one of our things right now in Jamaica. But that's a debate for another time, right? Has there ever been a time when you have not necessarily followed the advice of friends, but you wanted to chart your own?
You know, personal for me, I like to sit and listen. Listen to everyone, right? No matter who the person is, I enjoy speaking with them. And I could never follow every advice, but I try to follow the best advice.
All right. What I'd like to find out from you, has there ever been an incident that you have seen where, or probably it's better to ask this, what sparked your interest in politics?
Okay, in 1991, when I purchased my home in Greater Portmore, I was the first addition, expansion on my quad that I received. And then Usmall was the member of parliament. And I remember PJ Patterson was the prime minister at the time. And even the first completed addition in Greater Portmore. We can at that time, when they were touring with the prime minister and the member of parliament, they actually came to my house. And from there we had the discussion. And the community at the time asked that we put in an interim citizen association. And I was the president of the interim citizen association. And I was also elected as the president of the citizen association at the time.
Which community?
For Greater Portmore.
Okay.
And I served that community for 8.5 years as the president of the citizen association, where we have to have meeting at Jamaica House on a monthly basis to make certain that all the infrastructure that was on the plan was given to the people in Greater Portmore. Hence, we have the library, health center, the supermarket, and all the other facilities that is there. I can remember at one stage, West Indies Home Contractor wanted to build some shop houses and abandon the supermarket here in the shopping center. And we
go to commercial after I finish quick. So yeah, 1 minute left to stop.
Yeah.
The camera's gonna stop in 1 minute.
Yeah.
The camera's gonna stop in 1 minute.
Okay. Let's continue. From what you mentioned with Wisico, let's continue.
right, West Indies Home Contractor. So what we have done is to have the meeting, and it was really a meeting that the people of Greater Portmore at the time have registered there, discussed with the developer. Hence, they have to retreat and build the shopping center.
You have to stand up on your feet.
Yes, because we wouldn't have a shopping center in Greater Portmore. We wouldn't have a post office. We wouldn't have a library. We wouldn't have a junior center. We wouldn't have a health center. Even the telephone, right? There was no telephone, it was callbacks. And we decided that they have to put in the infrastructure for the telephone. And when Greater Portmore come on stream, there was no bus going into Greater Portmore. And then we started to have a one-door bus going into Greater Portmore. People have to walk from Brighton in the night to Greater Portmore. And in the morning, they have to carry 2 pairs of shoes, 1 flap. That could take the dust and things like that. When they reach the break and they change and wipe off their feet and then go to work. So it was hard work during the time to make Greater Portmore a place for people to live.
I like some of the things that you have just mentioned to me. Viewers, we'll be right back. Do you need your wedding videotaped? Do you need a commercial or an interview done? Then call Sunshine Video Production. We videotape and edit functions, graduations, stage shows, music videos, and even funerals. We have a video studio and offer help with your marketing and promotional planning. So WhatsApp or call us at 883-0525. Yes, viewers, welcome back. And here we are having a little chat with Mayor Leon Thomas. Even though the show is named In the Hot Seat, we're not getting so hot. It's not an ambush, all right? With some pleasant questions so we can get a better feel as to who Mayor Leon Thomas is. Now, you went into some of the challenges that you faced. That it seems that this was what sparked your interest in politics, because it's through this activism that you are able to really, if you don't stand up for yourself and you just sit down the whole time, then people run all over you. All right. Well, I remember having another interview, but that in that interview, what you mentioned a while ago was mentioned. So it's good to know that you were the man on the ground, getting certain things done. All right. So, well, I guess you answered two of my questions when I was asking when I wanted to ask. My next question really would be: Have you experienced any injustice? Wouldn't having to state your claim for these utilities that your community needs to have be an experience of injustice of sorts?
Right. Because I've been experienced living in Portmore before, because I live in Portmore from 1983.
Okay.
And I live a few communities in Portmore. And now moving to my own home, I was making certain that all the utilities are there, because I know what it is, So we quickly form ourselves into an association and make certain that we lobby the government and the developer along the line of what they put on the development plan, because oftentimes they put a whole lot of things on the development plan and the residents don't benefit from those. So we hold them to the task of everything that was there. Hence,
the plan looked pretty, but when the time comes,
then it is not here.
So
after doing that, what happened? You have Morris Garrison, Big George, and Matt Oaks, and Trevor Gale, and all those big wigs in Portmore usually have like Citizens Association, and they were lobbying for Portmore because we were having serious traffic problem in Portmore at the time, and short and lack of infrastructures in Portmore. I was about 23 going 24 years old at the time. I was the youngest member of the Portmore Joint Citizens Association at the time. And they actually brought me under their wing and guided me. And I started to visit the joint and things like that. And lobbying wider for Portmore. Then George Lee came in along with Colin Fagan, who was the secretary at the joint at the time. So getting involved at that stage and from a tender age, that's what led me to get involved in the whole political thing. But this was in me from long time, because I usually be a prefect at my school. I usually be a leader from that time, from primary school to high school. So that type of leadership role
has always been there.
Always been there.
Just know that it's in a much more formal setting, an elected setting.
Well,
already. In your time as mayor, or when you just became mayor, could you name like about 3 major projects that you would have participated in or
before
happening? No man, since mayorship.
Well, the first one I would like to bring to your attention is the municipal council building right beside the 100-man police.
Okay.
Right? That is one major one. And then we have started development of sidewalks in the municipality, because you know that Portmore was built without sidewalk. And we have done the one on Elster Road, we have done the one on Portmore Park, we have done the one out by Dawkins Drive, and a few more across the municipality, which we intend to continue this drive right across the municipality. A most recent one, I want to go to the most recent, one of the most recent one. This taxi stand out by Portmore Mall.
Okay.
Because what we have, Transport Authority usually is a license for the taximan to terminate at Portmore Mall, but no definitely here.
Yeah.
And then it causes a serious traffic problem over the Portmore Mall, because they usually stop on the main road.
But I must tell you this though, based on what you just said a while ago, some of the taximen feel that they're being victimized because it ends there, but there's no formal setting for them. But I understand that you set up one recently.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying, that Transport Authority have done that, and it is an injustice to the taximen.
Yes.
Because the whole thing about it, when they go there, the police normally seize their car. So what we have done is to invite them to a meeting at the municipality. We have several meetings, and hence we develop a piece of land that we have close to Masterman Supermarket, where we have bathroom facilities, proper parking area, proper area that well lit, But we still have another challenge with the taxi for some using it, some is not using it.
In your life now,
and I just want to say to you too, you mentioned about major projects.
okay.
The thing is that there are a lot more major projects that I have done since I assumed the role as
Well, you mentioned two, so I need a third.
No, I mentioned three.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned the sidewalk, the building, and the taxi stand, which was the recent one. But I want to also say that
So the man correct me a while ago, on the ball.
the 4-lane that built at Port Tennyson Road from Bayside to Nagway, it did not just come like that.
Okay.
It takes several discussions from Omar Davis, was responsible for our national work agents. We started that discussion from that time, right? And it continued when Mr. Warmington became the minister, right? So it was a long discussion, and that road supposed to stretch it right down to 85 there, because it was supposed to be 2 phases. And we are now in discussion to take it from 85 down to Old Elshot, the corner, to widen the road, including Dawkins Drive, that's supposed to be a 4-lane road. The Municipal Boulevard is supposed to be a 6-lane road, right? Because we want to make certain that we put in the necessary infrastructure. Because I remember clearly when I moved to Portmore, and the causeway in the morning time was a serious traffic problem. I get prosecuted twice for body protruding when I have to take the bus to go to Kingston to work. Because at that time, if you don't want to late, you have to hang off on the bus. Mm-hmm. If you don't get a seat in the bus to reach to Kingston. So I have all those experiences. So I'm making certain that we try to now have discussion with central government to make certain that all the roads, our main thoroughfares, are adequate so that we don't have that traffic problem with the municipality going forward.
Do you need your wedding videotaped? Do you need a commercial or an interview done? Then call Sunshine Video Production. We videotape and edit functions, graduations, stage shows, music videos, and even funerals. We have a video studio and offer help with your marketing and promotional planning. So WhatsApp or call us at 883-0525.
Welcome back, viewers. As you can see, I think we're going to have to, at a later date, have a second programming, a second interview of Mayor Thomas, because I realize that there, apart from these 3 or 4 projects, there are other projects that you want. So there's a lot of things happening inside Portmore that we need to let the viewers and so on get to know what's happening. But this particular program, for now, is really just to get to know me and Thomas better. So we're still going to ask a couple of, we're going to wrap up the show, this episode of the show, by asking some more political but personal questions.
No problem.
All right. In your time as a politician, are there any local, whether dead or alive, politicians that you admire the contributions they have made to Jamaica?
Of course. First, I admire Michael Manley and also PJ Patterson and Portia Similar, of course. She have championed the cause for the less fortunate people in Jamaica. And I remember at one stage when former Prime Minister PJ Patterson at the arena speak about the road development in Portmore and outside of Portmore.
I was speaking directly to you then.
You understand? At that time, I remember when he announced the highway and he said that it will take a few minutes from country to come back into Kingston. Your wife will miss you, and this was a big talk, right? And then former Prime Minister Edward Seala at the time, I remember the argument was road can't happen, and I live to see that the highway development is one of the best things that ever happened in Jamaica, because you have no access to lands that was there and not being used, put into any use at all. And now with the highway, you see a lot of development taking place along the highway, the corridors there. So those are some things that I really admire about him. And I also admire former Deputy Prime Minister Seymour Mullet.
Okay.
Yes. I admire his style of politics, integrity and all of that. Those are some of my admirers in politics and why I actually venture into politics.
Well, for Seaga, I must say that was his usual bantering as far as, because at the end of the day, both sides can't dispute infrastructure.
Yes.
You understand?
Because you have to improve on infrastructure to make certain that you have growth within your country.
It's just probably more that everybody wants to be the one to put in the infrastructure.
Yes.
And if you're not the one, then you're going,
and oftentimes, because of politics, you have people who oppose of the ideas.
Oppose just for the sake of
Yes, so we do understand.
Yeah.
Because the PNP opposed to and the Jamaica Labour Party have done things that benefit the country. So it's not a one-sided thing, because there are good things that the Jamaica Labour Party have done.
Right. Yes. Both sides. All right. So much for local politicians. Name a couple of international politicians that you like their style.
Barack Obama.
All right.
Bill Clinton.
All right.
Nelson Mandela.
Mm-hmm.
Those leaders are great leaders.
All right. Another question. Why should a Jamaican citizen vote? Why should they vote?
Well, you have to vote to make certain that whatever your views is, or what you think best for your country, you must vote and you should vote. Because if you don't vote, then you leave another man to decide your future. Right? So you must play your part by doing the right thing.
Because if you don't stand up for anything, you're going to sit down for everything. All right. Well, my final question is, if your life was to be either written or turned into a movie, we're going to tell it light. It's a light question.
No, that's okay.
All right. If your life was to be dramatized in a movie, name who. Well, firstly, what would be the name of the movie, and who would you want to play you?
To play me?
Yeah, who would you want to represent you, And don't use Denzel Washington like.
Thomas Jefferson.
No, I mean, who would play you in terms of the name of the actor that would play you in the movie?
Name a movie star that would play me. I would go for Denzel Washington.
All right. I said before that was going to be the final question, but here are the two real final questions. Are there any other political aspirations?
After being a mayor. Being a mayor in PORTMORE, you're responsible for the entire PORTMORE. Being a member of parliament, you're responsible for a part of PORTMORE. So the greatest job right now is to be a mayor, because you are the mayor for the entire PORTMORE. You don't represent a part of PORTMORE. Right? I don't know as yet, but I'm happy and satisfied representing the entire PORTMORE. Former president of the Joint Citizens Association, Big George, Morris Garrison, Mattox, and all those great men that passed away. I know that they are proud of me right now, including former Mayor George Lee. Right? So I am here playing their part that they would play if they were alive. So I'm quite satisfied. But if that time comes, and when that time comes, to now represent that just a section or a fraction of PORTMORE, then so it be.
All right. Final one, truly final. Is there any message you have for the youth of not only PORTMORE, but for the youth of the country?
Well, let me tell you something. Right now, I'd say to especially the male that, you know, they are seeing a lot of their friends and colleagues have either their life taken away from them violently. And I would like to say to them that they must now stop the violence. Think positive. Think the way of life and not negative. It takes time for you to grow to the stage that you are. And anything that you are going to achieve in life is going to take time for you to reach there. You need to slow down, you need to look at what you are doing and think wisely and positively. When I was growing up, my mother and my brother always make certain that I go to church, Sunday school, youth club, and take part in my community. That is what shaped my life. And I would say to them, get involved in your community. I know that the struggle is not easy. And sometimes I know that some of the parents cannot find a meal to give to you. But satisfy with whatever that you have. Your dream will be successful. But just take your time, think wisely, think positively, and you will achieve.
Duly noted, sir. All right. Well, viewers, we're going to come back to Mayor Thomas, but not right now. But Mayor Thomas, thank you for the opportunity to speak to our viewers and to let them have an idea, because not everybody would have had a direct access to you and an opportunity.
I know.
Right? Because
but you see, for me, I have a open door policy, and anybody that wants to talk to the mayor, meet the mayor, they can come and make the necessary appointment, or they can call me at 829-5089. That's my cell, my personal cell. And if you call me with a private number, then and I miss the call, I cannot return the call. But if you call me with a number, you will be getting a return call, right? You might not get it immediately, you might get it a day after, right? But it's an open door policy, and as I said to you before, that what put me in this position is the whole relationship with my community and how I deal with people. So I have no problem. And that PMP, JLP, no P, Christian, Muslim, you name it, Balen, Rastafari, you know, Selassie, anybody. Their views are welcome. I cannot think alone to enhance this municipality. So I need your help, right, to enhance this municipality.
Well, we will be calling again, but not right now.
Thank you.
Okay.